I was a little nervous and went to the bathroom to pull it together. Without warning, Alan busted into the bathroom, walked to the toilet, pulled down his pants, and took a excuse me, I haughtily asked. Girl, he wanted to show you what you was going to get. This here for you. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise.
I don't hear nobody out there.
And I flipped the coin of love and hate all the time. But the love shared between us never changed. When the phone rang the day after the party, I just knew it was him. Surely Steve would report back to Nas and tell him that I was a guest at Tracy's shindig. Steve and I were good friends, but he was Nas's friend first and foremost. I was ready for the questions. Instead, it was my friend D0wn calling to fill me in on her recent trip to Virginia. As D0wn went on about her recent trip, she mentioned that Bubba Chuck was home from jail and wanted to meet me. Me? He never even seen me, D0wn. Not another blind date, I thought. Well, I happened to have a couple of pics with me down there. D0wn was notorious for carrying around photos, props for her self-appointed role as Cupid to all her friends. He really wants to meet you. What does he look like, D0wn? Carm, trust me, you won't be disappointed. He's a dime. D0wn had a way with words. I didn't trust her. He could very well be some big, tall, doofy basketball player that will squash little old me. She went on to say that he had played ball since his youth, would soon be playing for the 76ers, and had just signed an endorsement deal with Reebok. Now I was even more wary. Sports were not an interest of mine, so it all sounded foreign to me. Plus, I already had a man. Chuck will be up in New York to do some press in 3 days. It won't hurt you to meet him, Carm. Over the next couple of days, I surfed through the sports channels trying to find the mysterious Bubba Chuck, but came up with nothing. Newspapers didn't turn up any stories either. The lack of information on Chuck only intensified my deep-seated mistrust of blind dates. I called D0wn. I can't find anything in the news about this Bubba Chuck. The blind date is off. D0wn laughed. Fool, his real name is Alan Iverson. Back to my research. When his given name didn't turn up any information either, I was ready to give up and plan to flake out on the meeting that night. This blind date was just too blind. So when the time came for our mini meet and greet, I would be a no-show. D0wn would be pissed. Oh well. D0wn must have anticipated my evasive maneuver. When she called to make plans for the night, Alan was on the line with her. So much for the plan. We talked for about 15 minutes and the conversation seemed intriguing enough, but the actual subject matter was irrelevant. I went soft just at the sound of his voice. He had a southern drawl, its soothing charm roughened around the edges by a slightly abrasive thuggishness. Sexy, I felt desired for the first time in a long time. That night, D0wn, Renette, and I headed to Manhattan to meet the mysterious Bubba Chuck. D0wn had been right, but she had understated it. He was hot, red hot. Ladies, if you think Allen Iverson was that ninja on the television, I'm telling you, in real life, oh my goodness. One time we was partying somewhere in Virginia, And this girl set me up, old dirty bitch. We walking around the bar to check out the scene, right? She like, oh my God, who is that over there? I said, I don't know. She was like, girl, oh my God, he is so sexy. Me, in my prime, I'm like, fuck it. Let's go over there and get at the ninja, right? Had no idea who he was. This was also one of the clubs that I told you about where they would pick and choose. Like what they would do is they would let in 12 women and one guy. And the 12 women, it was like no, 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 yes, no, yes. So I was with the only yes. It was three of us. And I had never seen such. I seen such later, but not at that time. The guy was like, no to the two girls I was with and yes to me. And I said, I'm not going in there unless these two can come. Now, I don't know, because I don't know what you got in there waiting on me. Okay, so I'm not going to go. So then the dude was like, all right, y'all three come on in. And I was like, that is so insulting to me, But anyway, it's 98, 99, and I'm in my prime, okay? I ain't had no ass yet, but in my mind, I'm still that girl. Back to the bar. The girl, or one of the girls I was with, was like, ooh, yeah, he fine as shit. I was like, girl, that's nothing. Let's get at him. We got around there, and it was a dude standing in front of him. The dude still facing towards the bar. It's a dude in back of him, like blocking him. I'm so in my mind, young and dumb, not thinking that maybe this may be somebody. But I think the girl knew it was somebody. I'm telling you, these bitches be using me. But I'm kind of used to it. So anyway, I go around there, and I didn't even realize that it was him. Because I don't watch ball. I didn't know. I heard his name before, but I didn't know it was him. The bouncer dude is facing us, and Allen Iverson is facing the bar. So I reach around the dude. The guy grabbed my arm and pushed my arm back. I said, wait a minute. What the fuck is that? I didn't even realize that he was there to protect the dude. I didn't realize that, right? And the dude looked back and saw me and was like, it's all right, let her stay. But I didn't know what was going on. The girl wanted to hang out because the dude was like, let him stay. I was blown. I was like, nah, I didn't got accosted in this situation. I'm not staying here. Stop, baby. I didn't got accosted. Okay? I'm over. You didn't get accosted. I did. I walk away. The girls follow me. And they like, I think that's Allen Iverson. What, bitch? You had me go around there and try to get the attention of an NBA player? Not that I wasn't capable. I'm just saying the bitch set me up. You knew that was Allen Iverson when we went around there. But anyway, when I touched him, it was like touching a statue. A Greek god statue. That's how sexy and toned he was. I'm telling you. Man, if you think that ninja was a work of art, I'm telling you, if you touch it, it would confirm it. That thing, oh my gosh, that thing was, yeah. And me, I'm prone to like athletes, especially basketball players. I used to have a crush on that daggone Teresa Weatherspoon. Like Danae had been right, but she had understated it. He was hot, red hot. He was wearing a crisp white Reebok t-shirt. Apparently, his endorsement deal was a 24/7 job and a platinum chain with a diamond-packed medallion. His matching bracelet and pinky ring were just as icy. Allen had the raw goods, too. A perfect body and a face that would still be cute when he was 80. He still has a baby face to me, but I think all the wear and tear of life is wearing him out. I might have stood there transfixed forever if Danae hadn't budged in past him and quickly introduced everyone. We all sat in the suite and made small talk for about 5 minutes. I was a little nervous and went to the bathroom to pull it together. Without warning, Alan busted into the bathroom, walked to the toilet, pulled down his pants, and took a piss. Excuse me, I haughtily asked. Girl, he wanted to show you what you was going to get. This here for you. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. His only reply was a simple, what? Like he didn't notice he was relieving himself in front of a complete stranger. Was he that comfortable around me already? Girl, it ain't got nothing to do with comfort. He was showing you the surprise. Surprise, surprise. As shocked as I was even more curious and took a discreet peek to see what he was working with. My findings were more than satisfaction. I quickly dried my hands and made it out of the bathroom before Alan was finished. Girl, he was hoping that y'all would finish together. When I came out, Danae blurted, yo, he is feeling you, Carm. He was like, good looking, Danae. She's a dime. Renette was at the mirror combing her hair. She shook her head. Carm, that ninja looked good as hell. Yeah. In real life. Allen Iverson looked good as hell in his prime in real life. So Allen took all the women out to a restaurant. You know that's the ticket. Okay, I'm about to feed you and your friends so I can get the pastanka later. It works sometimes. It works for me. We went back to Alan's room for cocktails after dinner, and I soon told him it was time to go. I had to get home to Destiny, but Alan, on the other hand, didn't seem to have any reservations about jumping into bed on the first night. Of course not, girl. He's an NBA player. Shit, he ain't got time. He only in town for one night, girl. Didn't T.I. tell y'all that? He ain't got time to be making friends. Is we gonna do the booty or what? I declined, but he only let me leave after making me promise to return the next day. He handed over his room key to formalize the welcome. Even though I was in a rush to get Destiny, I was in no rush to leave Alan. I was on cloud 9 the entire ride. I picked up Destiny. We went home and relived the evening over and over again as I got ready for bed. I'm telling you, how she's expressing herself is how I felt in those moments where I met people, whether it was celebrity or, street shiz. Man, after a beautiful evening, man, you would go home and you would just get that butterfly feeling in your stomach. The next morning when I woke up, I was still on a high with a romantic montage of thoughts of Alan and Carm playing in my head. It was interrupted by a couple of quick scenes from my history with Nas, but they passed quickly and thoughts of Alan resumed. But there was no guilt. It was like Olu said, we were all free to do what we wanted, when we wanted. Nas had certainly taken a page out of Olu's book. Now Olu, Nas, and I were all on the same page. I loved Nas, but I loved myself more. And I was very, very much into Alan. So anyway, Allen Iverson is like, look, I'm about to take y'all shopping. Let's go. All right. T, I think, is his manager or something. Somebody that he keeps with him. I wonder if it was that big mother hunchy that accosted me that day at the club. He and T carried in a number of shopping bags filled with promotional items from Reebok. It was like Christmas. Alan was hosting a show at the Palladium nightclub later that night and invited us to come along. Carm, you and Danae want to roll with us? Alan asked. Cool, but I have to go home and change. I insisted. Alan reached into his pocket, pulled out a wad of cash, and slapped it in my hand. Just go get something to wear real quick and come right back. Girl, he just paid you, girl. He just paid you for the hoochie coochie. That's what them NBA players do. They pay you to go away, girl. This ain't the money for you to go shopping. This is the money for after I hunt you to go away. Then I flagged down a cab and went straight to Saks. Without any financial limitations, the perfect clothes jumped right out at me. A lilac suede halter top, black suede boy shorts, and black suede knee-high boots. We changed at the hotel, then we all hopped in the limo and drove straight to the club. The entrance was packed, so we circled around the block hoping to find a secure back entry. It was just as packed in the back of the club as it was in the front. Alan, Marlon, Danae, Renette, and I stood beside the limo and waited for T to do his thing. That's when I noticed a mob of dudes across the street sizing up Marlon and Alan, whose gleaming jewelry looked like a payday under the streetlights. Ramel, a friend of mine, headed over from the clique. "Carm, you here with that nigga Alan?" Ramel asked. "Yeah, that's my friend. Why?" "That's your business. But you see them niggas across the street right there? They about to set it on your man. I suck my teeth. Why don't you just tell them to chill? I can't stop them ninjas from doing what they want to do." I thanked Ramel for trying to look out and returned to Alan's side. There was no beating around the bush. I got straight to the point. "You see those dudes over there?" I asked. "Yeah, I peeped them grilling us," Alan answered. "They're from Brooklyn. The one I was just talking to is a friend of mine, and he said them ninjas are about to rob you, and that we should leave before shit gets crazy." "I ain't going fucking nowhere," Alan bawled out. "Let them niggas come over here on some bullshit if they want to. I got something for them ninjas." T interrupted him. "I think her friend is right. We need to leave. It's not worth it. I'm not trying to get killed out here over some bullshit." Alan was defiant. "Then get in the car, ninja, and you won't be in it." "But I ain't going nowhere." Alan meant every word. We stood rooted in that spot until long after the fire marshal arrived and shut down the party. The pack from Brooklyn broke out. We all got back in the limo, drinking and riding around the city for what seemed hours. I have to say, seeing Alan in rare form at the Palladium was such a turn on. That's what that Allen Iverson do. He turns you on. I couldn't wait to be alone with him. Finally, we dropped everyone off and headed back to the hotel. By the time the door closed, we were all over each other. Before I knew it, my top came off, followed by my shorts, then everything else. Alan was lean and muscular, a warrior with tattoos and battle scars on the Jesus. Just looking at him got me excited. His body was scrumptious, his kiss was intoxicating, and I felt like I was melting. Our antics took us from one side of the bed to the other. I couldn't get enough of this man. He was so physically strong, he thought nothing of picking me up and creating the most erotic of poses. When he finally possessed me, I was so ready. I bet you was. He filled me completely, and our rhythm was perfect. Alan was above average in size, but his gift was girth and technique. His sliding and swerving thrusts hit me in spots I didn't know I had, and this was only round one. Shit, girl, there's a round two. But you got to buy the book for that. A few hours later, there was a knock on the door. Alan leapt out of the bed and opened it.
Oh, my life.